Hi, my name's Kelly Gilson, and I'm the Executive Director at United Way Oxford. I invite you to join us on our new Let's Talk Local Oxford series. We'll share everything about United Way Oxford, our work, our partners, our investments, and how everything we do is designed to create positive social change right here at home in Oxford County. Not only do we want to share, but we hope to inspire you to join in our efforts and learn ways in which you too can show your local love. So, let's talk local, Oxford.
Woodstock Libro Credit Union is the proud sponsor of Let's Talk Local Oxford.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Local, Oxford. I'd like to begin by thanking Libro Credit Union for their commitment to this podcast and sponsorship. They're really wonderful community corporate partners and committed to helping our United Way share information about what matters here in Oxford County and some of the resources that we are so proud to be able to participate and support with. Today we are chatting with Janine Jones, who is the program coordinator for a program called Food Forward Oxford, which is housed at the Women's Employment Resource Center. And so, Janine, welcome aboard and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Kelly.
This is a really interesting and unique kind of program, a little outside of United Way Oxford's normal realm, if you will. Mm-hmm. And just to step back a tiny bit, when we have funded this program for 2 years. The first year was a pilot year with a presentation that was really an application, a business case, if you will, that was really compelling and interesting. And we were all of us, ourselves as well as everyone on your team, and the committee, a little unsure of exactly where it would go. Mm-hmm. It's a bit fluid, but really interested in what the opportunity could be. And so we were thrilled to be able to get involved, to give it that hand up to get started, the Food Forward Oxford program. And now it's 2 years later, and you're the program coordinator. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what the program actually is?
Essentially, we support and try to find solutions for food insecurity. I will go into food providers around Oxford County, have a discussion, educate, and discover ways to rescue food from going to food waste into our landfills or discarded food just for overages, and give them back to the people that need them the most. And those may be housing insecure, it could be families, it could be seniors. We have a wide range of people that we do support. And then again, it's also about nurturing relationships within the community and finding everybody coming together. And that's what I've found in the first year of the pilot project. A lot of that was finding sources of food and giving them back to food access providers. Now it's about connecting those people together to get a network going so they support each other, as well as an awareness. And a lot of it has to do with education. And I find that probably 50% of my job now is reaching out to community members, be it on both ends of the spectrum, and educating them about what food insecurity is, which is health, nutrition, and safe access to food.
Absolutely. And this really kind of bubbled up initially. And I remember Heather Bree Davis, who's the executive director at Women's Employment Resource Center, talking about more and more they were serving women through their center who were struggling to feed themselves and their family, like really struggling to put food on the table. And that was pre-COVID. That was sort of some of the challenges that we have faced over the last 2 years, the economic challenges, the isolation, job loss, all of those things, as well as this incredible, the cost of it, the inflation cost and the cost of food now. So what was identified as a problem or an issue for a lot of folks before, it's a growing issue now, isn't it? You're seeing more and more people who need a hand just to put food on the table.
Exactly. And it's very varietal. It's not just one specific pocket in Oxford County or all of Canada, for that matter, North America. Food insecurity is a serious issue because more now with COVID, you have lost wages, lost jobs, increased costs. Rental prices are going up and wages are just not there. And if you lose your hours, all of a sudden you have a family of 6. How are you going to decide whether or not to feed your children or to pay the bills?
Right.
So we're trying to find those pockets of all of this food waste, or just in general providing access to food where people can donate to help contribute to strengthen the community, so these people have more confidence to go into their lives every single day and feel rest assured that they can support their families.
Right. And so one of the things that we think is really interesting about this program is that there's above and beyond the social service, the human service side, which is obviously the critical piece, and putting food in people's tummies who need it, and supporting the organizations that do that.
Of course.
But the other, there is an environmental side to this as well,
Huge.
right?
Yes.
And so, would you just share a little bit about why that matters too?
Well, it's a huge impact. Our landfills are filling up with organic waste on a continuous basis. If we could take a lot of that organic waste and put it into composting, specifically, I wouldn't know I haven't been to a landfill to really see how bad it is, but I'm pretty aware that it's a common issue across the board. I've been reaching out to a lot of farmers specifically, trying to communicate with them about their food waste, and they have been looking for solutions. We have a great one that's called the Pumpkin Rescue. Brian Smith is on board with that one. And what we do is we take pumpkins that would normally go to waste and we try to funnel them into food avenues, or maybe donate them to a farm that could use them for feed for animals.
Yeah.
Again.
So a really great, there's the, and I don't want to say that they're unintentional positive consequences, but that wasn't the focus of the program, but it is a lovely byproduct that it is giving farmers or businesses that serve food, sell food, an opportunity to divert from waste.
Yep.
But good product. This is not awful. This is good quality, healthy products that can be used to then feed people. So whether it's through organizations that are doing communal meals, or feeding groups, or providing food directly to individuals, because you work with organizations that do that as well, correct?
Yes, I work with many organizations for different purposes. We have soup kitchens, we have shelters, then we also have the community tables where people are allowed to go and shop for no cost on the table and pick what they choose that they want. So it gives them that sense of confidence and it makes them feel like they're a part of the community as well. I think that's a huge issue with a lot of the social impact of food insecurity. But coming back to the environmental, when it really does come down to food waste, education is the hugest thing that I have found was a sidebar aspect of the program. I don't think it was necessarily the target. We had a target of, finding food, getting it back into the community hands. But I'm finding now, again, education is the hugest aspect. And a lot of people are starting to understand nutrition basis, especially when it comes to feeding children. We're not just like pastas and sauces. We're looking for proteins and we need fresh vegetables. So this rescuing food waste is huge.
Absolutely. So it's a great learning opportunity. But to circle back to what you just said, these are quality foods. They're fresh, nutritious, healthy kinds of foods. And so we know that there is a need for all kinds of supports. This is not a situation where one food bank or one organization can meet the needs of everyone in the community who have needs. Not. It is truly a variety of options that work together and kind of in harmony to coordinate and support needs. But the healthy, fresh stuff is the hardest. The proteins, the vegetables, the milk, meat, etc. Those are the hardest items for folks to get because they don't sit on shelves.
No, and we were able, when this pilot project started, we were able to gain some leverage with the Oxford Community Foundation and get the Maple Leaf Foods grant to get a fridge in the back of Women's Employment Resource Center. So now we have the ability to be able to rescue that food that would normally be perishable, throw it in our fridge, and then I can discern who it goes to as fast as I can flip it around. So, I mean, that's a major focus of the position that I'm in.
And I think it's important for us to note that when you're distributing food and when you're working with partners, you're working all across Oxford County.
That's correct.
And I think that's really important because the services are needed everywhere. This is not just an urban issue. This is not a rural issue. This is sadly, this is an everywhere, anybody issue.
It's straight across Canada.
It is.
It is and
indeed.
it's across, well, pretty much the entire world. Mm-hmm. Distribution is a huge factor.
Yeah. And so, Janine, when you think of all of the good work that the Food Forward Oxford program has been able to accomplish in the last 2 years, and where you're going with your team, can you tell us a little bit about how United Way's efforts or investments have helped you do that?
Essentially, the strength of the United Way is the community connections and the knowledge that comes from that. If there's any holes in my knowledge, I can reach out and find out change in the community or different connections that I could possibly come across. And it's a lot of it is it's just the foundation element to the position. You guys give us what we couldn't have done on our own.
Well, we were glad to be able to invest to get the program up and running and on some stable footing to see where it goes and because frankly, the opportunities are endless.
It is. That's quite true. It keeps changing.
Yeah, and sadly, the need is also endless. So
yes.
it's a program that has the opportunity to truly have that ongoing impact to help people across our community, and at the heart of it, that is certainly what United Way is all about. It's building those strong, healthy communities, and if this can help move people out of poverty, if this can help ensure that kids have food and the ability to go to school fed with a healthy lunch and they can learn, or people can go to work. I mean, you cannot work, you cannot learn if you're hungry. We know that.
Exactly. And if your health starts to fade and you're not eating properly, then everything else around you is going to fall too.
That's right. Absolutely. So Janine, for anyone who's listening out there across our Oxford County community who either might be a farmer who has some extra food or some seconds for something that they might want to donate, or for a company or a restaurant that might want to get involved, how do they get a hold of you?
Reach out to Women's Employment Resource Center or reach out to United Way Oxford. Okay. And they will put you in contact with me. We would love to do food drives. We would love to work with schools. We'd like to work with some farmers. We'd love to work with different organizations and any food provider. Even if you have an idea in your community where I could help contribute food to your resource, I'd like to help you out with that as well.
Okay. And I'll also use this as we wrap up as a moment to plug 211. So for folks that might be listening who actually are personally in need of some food or some support, there are some wonderful organizations on the ground across Oxford County doing incredible work to try and help folks. One call to 211 and you can get a full list of where they are, when their service is open and available, and all of that information. So Janine, thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you for the work that you are doing across Oxford to help put food, healthy food, into the hands of those who really need some assistance to get that. For those that are listening, I ask you to stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we continue to talk with funded partners and community organizations so that we can share information on needs across our community, what we're seeing now and what we're forecasting, as well as the resources and services that are available, and where your investments for United Way Oxford are being made to help create positive change across our county. So thank you very much, and remember that more than ever we are working together because it truly takes a village to create the kind of change that we know is necessary and is indeed possible. If you have any questions about this podcast, please reach out to Mike at unitedwayoxford.ca. Mike is our podcast guy and is always open to conversation and suggestions on how I can do a better job on the podcast. And thank you to Libro Credit Union for their generous support. We couldn't do this without them. And thank you everyone for listening and joining us today, and we'll see you next time on Let's Talk Local Oxford. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Local Oxford. If you would like to learn more about United Way Oxford, our work, our engagement, our volunteer opportunities, our partners, or to even make a donation, please visit unitedwayoxford.ca or call our office. We love to chat, and we really love visitors too. If, however, you find yourself needing a hand to locate a program or a service, please call 211, our information and referral service. They're there to connect you to local supports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Remember, 211, they are there to help. Until next time, join with us by showing your local love. We all could use a little more of that. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk Local Oxford, proudly sponsored by Woodstock Libro Credit Union.